Good evening, and welcome to the Indiana University Cinema's virtual screening room. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge and honor the Miami, Delaware, Potawatomi, and Shawnee people on whose ancestral homelands and resources Indiana University is built. My name is Elizabeth Rell, and I am the lead house manager at IU Cinema and co-host of A Place for Film, the IU Cinema podcast. As always, we miss being with all of you in person, but we are so happy to have you with us virtually, and we hope you and your loved ones are staying healthy and well. On behalf of the entire IU Cinema team, we'd like to thank you for being here tonight for the screening of 1986 film Two Moon July as a part of the Underground Film Series in partnership with the Media School. To introduce the film tonight, I'd like to welcome Matt Lutz. Matt recently graduated from Indiana University Media School with a master's in Media Arts and Sciences. While at IU, Matt studied amateur film theory and production with a particular interest in DIY video experimentation. He is currently an amateur filmmaker and public access television producer. Please welcome Matt Lutz.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And before I begin the introduction to the film, I just want to extend thanks to everyone at the IU Cinema who has made these sorts of virtual screenings possible. It's a welcome distraction from the fact that we can't um, all actually be together in that lovely cinema space. Of course, it just isn't safe, but we are still able to engage with these important films and that is really an incredible thing. So thank you everyone at the IU Cinema for making this possible. And now I'll get on with my job, which is introducing Two Moon July. Two Moon July was made for television. It was one of those television events that happened more often back when television was more dominant fixture in the home, and everything was bound up by those endless gridded timetables of the TV guide, among which Two Moon July had its own place. New York's Channel 31 at 10 o'clock on some day or another in September 1986. And anyone who cared about avant-garde video art would be sure to drop by via their television sets. Two Moon July was produced by The Kitchen, which by that time in 1986 had been showing and supporting experimental video art in New York for 15 years. And I can't help but encounter Two Moon July as a sort of catalog of some of the things The Kitchen found that they could do with this video stuff, and also a catalog of just very wonderful New York artists, including Laurie Anderson and John Lurie and Bill Viola and David Byrne with a bizarrely hypnotic sort of field or track performance that is my personal favorite, but we'll get to that soon enough. But it is all laid out. Two Moon July is laid out sort of like a catalog. Each segment, each artist gets only about 5 minutes, and then it quickly moves on to something more or less entirely different. The idea being, I suppose, that if the last thing didn't catch your eye, perhaps the next will. And by the end of it all, if the catalog has done its job, maybe you'll buy into the idea that at least some of these weird video things are worthwhile. But I should say the catalog structure makes for a very odd pacing. To me, it echoes the logic of those gridded timetables of the TV guide. And immediately when you encounter that, it can be a very frustrating thing. But also, I think that's where there's quite a bit of conceptual interest and excitement. Though we are watching this in a cinematic setting or part of a cinematic series, Two Moon July is really an artifact of television, and it operates within the realms of televisual logic, where segmentation and disconnection make quite a bit of sense. And anyways, back when it aired, if someone didn't like an act, they could flip the channel for a bit and flip it back for the next one. Now, before I let you go, I want to make a quick plug for another upcoming underground film screening. On March 9th, the IU Cinema will be screening Invisible Adversaries by Valley Export, and it sounds very exciting as sort of mix up of sci-fi and uh, underground filmmaking. Uh, so look into that and keep that in your mind and on your calendars. And with that, I will send you back over to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Matt, for that great introduction. To see more information on our upcoming screenings, as well as the one that Matt just mentioned, you can visit our website at cinema.indiana.edu. To all of you who tuned in tonight, thank you once again for being with us. Be well, be kind to yourselves and others. Have a great night.